Okay, in this video, I hope to show you how to set up the Vector Data 1 project. You'll see I'm in ArcGIS Pro, but it's actually best not to start in ArcGIS Pro. Instead, to start setting up your data, getting folders and things ready beforehand. So let's go to my Windows folder. You'll see that in the Windows C drive, I've created a special folder called Mapping, where I put all of my ongoing mapping projects. And I do that because I find it's a lot easier to have something directly on the C drive when I'm using ArcGIS Pro than I do working in the cloud somehow. So I've created here not just a tree campus folder, but I also have the shape files that I'll be using for this project stored here as well. You're free to do this any way you want to, but it does help to have it on the C drive itself. A really important thing to note is that you want the file folders to not have any spaces in them if they're going to be used directly in ArcGIS Pro. The shapefile, this is just like a repository, so it doesn't matter so much. But because I will be using this directly in ArcGIS Pro, if you have spaces in it, that ArcGIS Pro does not like that. So just sort of keep that in mind. You're also going to have to download data, and of course you do that by going to the downloadable data for MOA-GIS and scrolling down and clicking on whatever it is you want. I have clicked on the buildings, and the buildings come up looking like this. What you want to do is download the shapefile. The shapefile will be downloaded as a zipped file. You want to move that zip file again to a folder that is going to be easy for you to use. You're going to make sure that it is extracted as well, and you're going to keep everything all together there to get things to work properly. So hopefully I'm all set up and ready to go, and I'm ready to add data to my map. And so that's the first stage of what you want to do. This can be a little bit clunky and slow, especially since some of these data sets are pretty big. So I am first just going to add one set of data. It's going to be the buildings that I want on this, and then I'm not going to add a lot of extra stuff. I just want to show you sort of how this works. Click on Add Data here, and then you're going to navigate to wherever you've stored that. And again, I've stored it in my mapping folder in a special folder that has all the MOA data. So here are those shape files. I'm going to go to Buildings, click on that, and I'm going to click on the shape file there. And so now it's going to start loading that data, and it could take a little bit before it resolves. Okay, that data has loaded and resolved now, and actually I ended up downloading lake data, lake vector data, in addition to the buildings. And this is the UAA campus. You can see it symbolized it. It chooses the colors for you. They're usually pretty gross, but there they are. Now the next thing that I want to add is I want to add the data, the shapefile data that I collected from Avenza. So let's go ahead and add that data now. I've kept this in a slightly different location. I've actually kept it right on my my special folder here. And so if I click down here, you can see I've got that tree data all ready to go. And so here we go. This loads pretty quickly because I only have about 100 data points or something like that. And you can see again, it symbolized it with a little circle. So now I've got data sets. They're all ready to go. And I can start to do some stuff with that. So we're going to end right here on this video. This is sort of the first step to take. And then we'll, in the second video, talk about some other things you need to do. But before I end, I want to say, if you want to, you can reproject this map on the fly as well. If you go to Map right here and you right-click on it and go down to the Properties, this will allow you to go to Coordinate Systems and change things. This has come up as State Plane Alaska, which is actually what I want it to look like. I think it uses an Albers projection, which is, a nice looking one. But if you bring in, for example, your Avenza data first, it might bring it in as WGS 1984, it might look a little bit funky because it would probably use a Mercator projector on that. So if you want to, you can reproject your data if you need to. Though it's called just reprojecting it on the fly because you're not actually reprojecting the data. You're just changing how it looks on the screen as you're looking at it. Okay, so that's it for this video.